Straight ahead on 12 News, a whole lot of gifts and a whole lot of waste. We'll show you what can and cannot be recycled. Plus,
I used to do all my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve because I just want to push it away and ignore it until the day before.
are you like this guy? You might be surprised he's not alone. But first,
Frosty the Snowman is a fairy tale, they say.
the soothing voice and the ringing of bells that's warming hearts. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The Salvation Army's annual Red Kettle campaign ends today.
Hundreds of volunteers have donated their time bell ringing, but one volunteer in Plymouth has gone above and beyond. Here's Cassie Bonstrom.
Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King.
Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, red kettles and bell ringers are a familiar sight. But not every bell ringer brings as much Christmas cheer as Elle Schefers. Elle, who lives on a hobby farm in Independence, has been a bell ringer for 11 seasons. He's literally donated hundreds of hours of his time.
Salvation Army said 540, and I haven't really tracked, but I think it's pretty close to that.
This year alone, he's volunteered more than 45 hours. But not just ringing, he sings too.
Noel. You do whatever you can do to kind of be pleasant while you're out here and, make it nice and pleasant for the people. But
bell ringing is Elle's way to thank the Salvation Army for helping families who have fallen on hard times, just like his did years ago.
A long time ago, when I was a little boy, I think about 6 or 7, we one time got help when we lived out on the West Coast. My father was having some bad financial times. My mother didn't work, and we got some Christmas presents, and we got a lot of extra groceries. Just trying to give back a little bit.
This year, the Salvation Army's goal was to raise $11.5 million. As of Christmas Eve, they'd raised close to $9 million.
We're pretty much, I think, on track with where we want to be at this time.
Major Jeff Strickler says the unusual weather patterns likely affected donations.
November was very cold, colder than usual, so that was kind of hard on folks. But December now has been a little warmer, so it's been good.
Elle's weathered it all over the years, but says it's worth every minute. The smiles and holiday greetings he gets keep him warm all winter long.
And you get such a nice feeling when you see all the people that just voluntarily help their community out. And
in Plymouth, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Thank you so very, very much for helping us. Merry Christmas.
And listen to this. In addition to donating his time and energy, Elle also matches all donations put in his kettle with help from his former employer, State Farm Insurance.
If a white Christmas was on your holiday wish list, you're going to end up disappointed. Holiday decorations that are usually surrounded by snow are instead surrounded by green and brown grass. New Hope weather watcher Steve Reckers says this is only the second Christmas since 1956 where there's been zero snow on the ground.
So 81% of the time we have an inch or more of snow on the ground on average here. So most of the time we do have snow on the ground. Unfortunately not this year, at least for some people, unfortunately.
As for the rest of the winter, Reckers says it won't necessarily stay snow-free, but with an El Nino developing, we're likely to have normal to above normal temperatures. Well, if you've waited till Christmas Eve to finish your holiday shopping, you are not alone.
The local malls and shops were packed with last-minute shoppers, but there could be an added benefit to waiting. Sonia Goins explains.
Holiday music filled the air.
Waited till the last minute, so here we are.
As shoppers look for last-minute deals at the shops at Arbor Lakes.
Who are you shopping for?
My sister-in-law.
Waiting to the last minute is a family affair for this trio.
I'm shopping for my husband.
That's me.
Oops. I told him he had to go to another part of the store.
I am also shopping for my mother. We have the same mom. Neither of us got her something yet.
Now, according to the National Federation of Retailers, nearly 1 in 4 people wait to the last minute to shop. Many of them hoping to get some good deals.
Just hoping to find something. Anything.
Retailers are also hoping to cash in on the last-minute rush.
It's been really good. The weather for us is always a factor, and we've had some amazing weather in December.
But some shoppers are not too worried if they don't bag up a deal today.
I have a history of this, so I think I'd be okay. I think it's more like I'd be like, nice job if I do get it done. So.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Out on the roads, drivers will benefit from lower gas prices. For example, a trip from Minneapolis to Chicago and back will cost you $23 less compared to last year. That's when gas averaged around $3.05 per gallon in the metro. And before you head out on the road, you may have filled the tank and checked your tires, but there are a few things that drivers often overlook. Make sure you have extra windshield fluid, an emergency kit with flashlight, a first aid kit, and a cell phone charger. And know which route you're taking.
Take the roads that are well traveled, because in the event, God forbid, that your car breaks down, you're stalled, you're in a ditch, and you're in like a nondescript area, it could take roadside assistance maybe double the time to get there.
The Christmas spirit is alive and well in Brooklyn Center. Employees and volunteers from the nonprofit Loaves and Fishes were busy Wednesday morning preparing meals for people at Brooklyn United Methodist Church. It is part of a program that provides free lunch and dinner to anyone who's interested on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. All the gift giving this time of year produces a lot of unwanted leftovers.
Household waste goes up by 25% during the holidays, and Hennepin County officials are trying to get more of us to recycle. But you have to be careful. Every year it goes from a beautiful gift box under the tree to this, the recycling drop-off center run by Hennepin County. We recycle about 45% of our waste, and there's more of it at Christmas time.
Well, it's cardboard, and some of those things are recyclable, so it's not necessarily a problem, but anytime we're using more material, there is an impact in the environment.
Angie Timmons says if you still have gifts to wrap, that's the best time to think about cutting down on waste, like using gift bags that can be used again next year.
This is a wine bag holder, but you can use bags. A lot of people will use some remnant material and sew these bags and reuse ribbon and save those from year to year. Tins, putting a gift inside of a tin is a nice reusable packaging. Or really going back to the old school, some funny papers, the funny section, and some raffia. But
What happens if you use regular wrapping paper? What goes into the recycling center and what goes into the trash?
most wrapping paper is not recyclable. It's because of kind of all the additives that are. It starts with, again, a low quality fiber paper, so there's just not a lot of high quality fiber to it.
What can be recycled is brown craft paper, but there's not much of that on the market. And what about those big boxes that electronics often come in? Even though it's shiny on the outside, the cardboard is recyclable, but what's inside may not be.
Inside, lots of boxes now have these kind of shape to hold things in place. The pieces that, while this is paper, it kind of looks like egg carton, would not be recyclable. And that's just because this fiber has been recycled so many times that it just really can't be reused anymore.
And we know you'll want to keep those greeting cards around for a while, but when it comes time to get rid of them, many will have to go in the trash.
Cards that you get that are photo paper, like this, would not be recyclables. So this card has got the glitter on it. That would not be recyclable.
And if you're replacing small electronics, don't forget to take out those tiny button batteries and recycle them. They're full of toxic metals. And in fact, you can drop off those batteries at Hennepin County libraries. Well, coming up, a last-minute gift idea that can pay off for years to come.
And then a little bit later in sports, the high-flying Champlin Park boys basketball team gets set for a big showdown this weekend.
But first, a Christmas Day forecast with no snow and no sun, but plenty of Santa sightings.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
Recognize those faces. Robbinsdale Mayor Regan Murphy and City Council members belted out Christmas carols at the homes of people who bought tickets for a community fundraiser. All the council members promised, however, to keep their day job. Great idea, though.
And they had a blast, too.
Looks like it. Here's a last-minute gift idea that can pay off for years to come.
In today's Money Savers, Shannon Slatton talks about how easy and inexpensive it can be to give the gift of a college savings account.
Need a great last-minute Christmas idea? We've got one for you. Bob Stern with the Minnesota College Savings Plan is here. The holidays are a great time to invest in college.
Absolutely. You'll feel great about investing in your child. The Minnesota College Savings Plan, you can start with as little as $25, and it's a Christmas gift that I think anybody would be proud to have.
And definitely easier than going to the bank and having to get a savings bond, which is what people used to do.
Right. People used to get that paper bond, and a number of years ago, the government said we aren't going to do that anymore. So the alternative here would be you could start up an account or contribute to an existing account, and we have a gift certificate that you can print right off the website and use that as the gift.
So just because you have a Minnesota savings plan doesn't mean the individual has to go to college in Minnesota. They can go anywhere.
Right, that's a great point. They can go any accredited school, even overseas. And the other thing that we always like to explain to people is that financial aid is not affected in a plan like this. Really up to about the first $70,000 that you put into a plan like this, your financial aid situation is unaffected. So I wouldn't let that stop you either.
And of course, there's great benefit in starting early. So if you've got a toddler at home, there's no better time.
Absolutely. We always say every dollar that you can save now is one less dollar that you'll have to borrow later. So put time on your side. Start now is the perfect time.
All right. Well, Bob Stern, thank you so much for being here. Have a good holiday.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Back to you, Mike and Alex.
All right, thanks, Shannon. And money you take out of the plan later is tax-free. You can download an information packet at mnsaves.org. Coming up, the spirit of Christmas with the help of a ladder and a lot of creativity.
But first in sports, Terry Tuma has his first ice fishing tip of the season. Jay Wilcox is in next.
I'm Jay Wilcox with sports. They have some tough games ahead, but it's hard to argue with what the Champlin Park boys basketball team has done so far. The Rebels are 9-0 and ranked second in Class 4A. They're averaging just under 88 points per game and have topped 95 times. They knew it would be a good season and haven't been disappointed.
Yeah, I'm liking it. We're putting a lot of effort in it, and we're going to keep getting better day by day.
We've been really sharing the ball and running together well so far up to this point. We're not that far into the season, but we can just tell that we're in for great things up ahead. So I'm very excited, actually.
The Rebels will get two good tests at the Granite City Classic against Roseville Friday and top-ranked Apple Valley Saturday night.
We are pumped, very excited. We love the big games. That's what shows what type of team you are, so we're ready for Saturday.
Maple Grove, Providence, and Rogers are also in the Granite City Classic. Friday at Apollo High School, Rogers meets Rocori at 11 a.m. and Providence Academy plays Big Lake at 12:30. Champlin Park meets Roseville at 2:15 and Maple Grove plays Apple Valley at 8:30. Saturday at St. Cloud State, Maple Grove and Rogers play at 2:15. Providence meets Albany at 5:30 and Champlin Park versus Apple Valley is at 8:30. In girls basketball, Benilde-St. Margaret's had a tough outing Saturday against a good Orono team. The Red Knights look to bounce back against De La Salle. Gretchen Sattler drives the ball from the wing and fires from near the free throw line as Benilde grabs an early 5-2 lead on the Islanders. A nice play for De La Salle as Deja Copeland finds a cutting Cameron Speece for the layup in a close first half. The Red Knights attack the press here. Sattler goes to Sydney Leibel, who drives a little closer for the jumper. BSM leads by 1 at the half. Faith Johnson-Patterson's Islanders surge to start the second half, though. Speece with 2 of her 13, and it's 34-31 De La Salle. Brooke Stanley looks cross-court and finds Sattler for 3 as Benilde goes in front 49-48. Sattler scores 17. Allie Coughlin drives and sets up Abby Wilgers for the layup, and the Red Knights go up 55-52. The Islanders come back, though. Patience Griffin with a long 3, and it's tied 55-all. Leibel hits the go-ahead free throw, and Benilde hangs on to win 57-55. Brooklyn Center's girls basketball team has just 8 girls on the roster and just 6 dressed Tuesday night as the Centaurs hosted St. Paul Harding. The Knights in transition, Asia Shepard ahead to Maquia Lesueur. That's a layup for an 11-0 Harding lead. Brooklyn Center gets its first basket on Shemaya Hudson's banked-in 2-pointer, and it's 14-2. Shepard is the Knights' leading scorer this season. She hits the short runner on her way to a 15-point night. Keandra Auld is the Centaurs' top scorer. She scores on an 18-footer, but Brooklyn Center's down 28-6 at the half. Second half, and Mariah Allen feeds Dina Wise on the break as Harding goes on to beat Brooklyn Center 58-9. Well, it's been an interesting start to the winter season with a cold and snowy November followed by a very mild December. That's affected lake conditions and ice fishing. Here's Tackle Terry Tuma with his first weekly Channel 12 ice fishing tip.
Welcome to another series of ice fishing tips right here on Channel 12. But first and foremost, there have been so many questions, phone calls about ice conditions throughout the state. And yes, we've had a major warm-up. We all understand and realize that. Also with a lot of rain, my only concern here is be careful. There's been some lakes, especially in our local areas, that have opened up again. Those lakes are not going to be safe right now. But again, here, just use common sense. Generally speaking, a lot of lakes locally have 5, 7, 8 inches of ice. But use caution here. If you feel not really good about the ice, you can actually sort of read the ice, and if it looks good, you can go out there. And if you're in doubt, personally, I would not go. Ice conditions, according to the DNR, this is only, again, good, solid ice. Generally speaking, 4 inches to walk out there and pulling a small fish house, for instance, like a one-manner, and then 6 to 7 inches of ice, you're fairly safe with pulling fish houses out there. 8 inches for a four-wheeler, and then depending on your skid house or your wheelhouse, it's going to be the size. Generally speaking, we have a little larger wheelhouse, and we're going to need, especially putting it out with a truck, we're going to need at least 14, 15 inches. Just err on the safe side of not breaking through. We all hear so many stories, so many accidents, if you will, and try to avoid it. Just use common sense and you'll be just fine.
Thanks, Terry, and watch for another tip with Terry on New Year's Eve day on 12 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. Up next, we let the light shine across the Northwest Metro.
A final gift to unwrap when we come back. We hope you'll get a chance to tune in this holiday weekend as we look back at our favorite stories from the past year, whether it's overcoming obstacles, helping others in need, or just stepping up in a difficult situation. You are sure to meet some interesting people who give of themselves. It all starts on Christmas Day right here on Channel 12. As we say goodbye, we have one final present.
That's right. There have been so many great Christmas light displays in the Northwest Metro this year. Neil Persley takes a look with the help of the Cooper High School Concert Choir and Orchestra. Merry Christmas, everyone.